My name is Anna. I always thought my life was like a perfect picture. I lived in a bright, modern apartment with large windows. I worked as a graphic designer in a busy, friendly office. Every morning, the sun came into my kitchen, and I felt thankful. I had Tom, my boyfriend, and Mia, my best friend. They were the most important parts of my life. Tom and I met at a friend's party 3 years ago. He had a great, easy smile and very kind eyes. We shared a love for old black and white movies. On our first date, we talked for 4 hours about films. He moved into my apartment 6 months later. Our routine was lovely. We would make pasta on Fridays, watch a movie on Saturdays, and walk our neighbor's dog, Leo, in the big park on Sundays. Tom always brought me coffee in bed. He was my rock. Mia was my friend for many, many years. She was the person who knew me better than anyone. Mia was loud and full of energy, the opposite of calm Tom. When I had a bad day, Mia was the first person I called. She would come over with ice cream and silly stories. She had a special key to my apartment, and she often came in without knocking, just shouting, "Anna, I'm here." We did everything together. We went shopping for clothes. We tried to learn Spanish on Tuesday nights. She was like the sister I never had. The 3 of us were a team. Tom and Mia got along very well. They often teased each other, and their laughter filled our small living room. I loved to watch them talk. I felt so safe because my 2 favorite people loved each other too. I often thought, this is the best life. It will never change. The change began slowly, like a quiet day turning cloudy. It started with small things. Mia, who always talked about her dates and job problems, became quiet. When I asked her, "What is new, Mia?" she just said, "Nothing, Anna. Everything is normal." She stopped calling me for shopping trips. Tom also changed. He used to come home at 6 o'clock sharp. Then he started coming home at 7. Then sometimes 8 o'clock. He said he had more meetings at work. When he came home, he was tired and quiet. He did not ask about my day. He ate quickly and looked at his phone. One evening, I tried to hug him. He moved away quickly. He said, "I am hot, Anna." It was a very long day. This small thing hurt my feelings a little. Then came the business project. Mia came to our apartment one evening. She looked excited. She and Tom sat close together on the sofa. "Anna," Tom said, "we have an idea. We want to start a small online shop, selling cool lamps." "Yes," Mia added. "It is a surprise for you. We need to work on it together, in secret. We will need some evenings alone." I was happy for them, truly. "That sounds great," I said. "But why a surprise? I can help." No, Anna, Tom said. It is better if you wait. It is a gift. So the secret meeting started. Tom and Mia began to leave the apartment 2 or 3 nights a week. They said they went to a quiet cafe near Tom's office where they could work. I felt so lonely during those evenings. I cooked dinner for one. I watched old movies alone. I started to think too much. Why can't I help? Why so secret? I tried to stop these bad thoughts. They are my best friend and my love. I must trust them. Trust was the key. If I did not trust, the picture of my perfect life would break. I tried to be busy myself. I worked late. I went to the gym. One Wednesday, my boss told me to go home early. The office closed because of a problem with the electricity. It was 4:30 p.m. I decided to walk home. As I walked, I thought about Tom and Mia. They always went to the corner coffee shop on Wednesdays. I felt a strong need to see them. I wanted to see the lamps they were working on. Maybe I could help a little bit. I went to a flower shop and bought a small yellow plant for them. I felt excited to surprise them. I walked to the cafe. The rain had just stopped, and the air was cold. My heart beat fast. I opened the door of the corner coffee shop. The small bell above the door rang loudly. I looked inside. The cafe was almost empty. And there they were, at a small, dark table in the back. They were not sitting next to each other, but across the table. There was no laptop, no papers, no drawings of lamps. Mia's hand was on the table, and Tom was holding it very tightly. They were talking quietly. Then, Tom leaned forward across the table. He did not see me. He kissed Mia. The kiss was long. It was not a friendly kiss. It was a kiss of lovers. The yellow plant fell from my hand and hit the floor with a soft sound. The dirt and the plant made a small mess on the wooden floor. Tom and Mia pulled apart quickly. They looked up at the sound of the bell and saw me standing by the door. I saw their eyes change. First, surprise. Then, fear. They knew it was finished. I felt so cold, like the winter air suddenly filled the cafe. I did not move. I did not shout. I did not cry. All the energy left my body. I walked very slowly toward their table. Every step was hard. Tom stood up quickly. He knocked his chair over. Anna, wait. Please, let me talk. It is not what you think. I stopped in front of him. I looked at Mia. She was hiding her face in her hands. She was crying loudly now. I looked back at Tom. I spoke one word, very cold, very low. Why? Tom began to talk very fast. We did not plan it, Anna. It just happened. The time we spent together for the project. We talked about things. I am sorry. It was a mistake. I felt no emotion, only coldness. I looked at Mia. You knew everything about me, I said to her. My dreams for Tom, my trust. You threw it away. Why? Mia looked up. Her face was red and wet. I don't know, she whispered. I was lonely. You were so happy with Tom. I wanted that. I am so sorry. Forgive me. I reached into my pocket and took out my apartment key, the one Tom used every day. I placed it very carefully on the wooden table. It made a small click. The key is for you now, Tom. But the life is finished, I said. My voice was calm, which made my words sound even stronger. I looked at both of them one last time, feeling no anger, only a terrible emptiness. I hope your lamps are successful, I said. It was the only cruel thing I said. I turned and walked out. I did not look back. I went to my cousin Julia's house. She lived in a small house near the ocean. Julia did not ask many questions. She only held me tight. I stayed in her quiet guest room for 5 days. I did not speak much. I just looked at the sea. I thought about the 3 years with Tom and the long friendship with Mia. They were gone. The picture was broken. On the 5th day, I felt different. The deep sadness was still there, but a small light of anger started to burn. I am strong. I am Anna. I could not stay sad forever. I decided to move far away. I called my office and resigned. I called an agent and asked him to sell my apartment quickly. I packed my clothes and my books. I did not take the shared things. The next month was hard. I moved to a city called Brighton on the south coast. It was new and full of noise. I found a tiny apartment much smaller than my old one. I started a new job. Everything was strange. I felt alone every single day. I did not know anyone. I ate dinner alone in the small kitchen. Sometimes I cried at night, but every morning I went to work. I smiled at my new colleagues. I started running by the sea. Slowly, the new routine began to feel like my own. I did not wait for Tom's coffee or Mia's loud laughter. I made my own coffee. I started talking to a new woman at work named Sarah. Sarah was kind. We talked about books, not about secrets. I saw a picture of Tom and Mia on a social media site 6 months later. They looked tired. They were standing next to a table of lamps. The project was real, but their faces did not look happy. I closed the phone. I did not feel sad. I felt free. I had lost 2 people I loved, but I had found myself again. I am Anna, and my life is still a beautiful picture. It is a new picture, painted with my own 2 hands. I am strong, and I am waiting for an honest love and an honest friend. The trust I lost is coming back, piece by piece. That's the end of Anna's journey from heartbreak to happiness. She learned that even when trust is broken, you can always build a new, stronger life. If you enjoyed reading Anna's story and want more easy English lessons and stories, don't forget to like this lesson and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one.